I am wearing the Papa Deals hat because I have something to say. Today's video is brought to you by eWin Racing, the best source for gaming chairs and desks for those long gaming sessions. We have a playlist of our eWin chair and desk videos linked in the video description below. Save 30% off of everything using the discount code TechDeals. More details at the end of the video. Navi 23 only has an 8GB GDDR6 on a 128-bit interface. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's fine. That's overkill in size for that card, especially considering its power consumption. This does not bother me as much, but the price is the problem. For the price, it shouldn't exist. Generally, I love how it says generally faster. Generally faster than 5700 XT. It is power efficient, totally true, 100% true. Good performance at 1080p. Let's talk about that. Supply should be... yeah, sure, whatever. Anybody buying this for ray tracing doesn't know what they're doing. It is expensive, that's our complaint, and it did sell out, so there you go. Are you ready?
Floor is yours. Hang on.
2019 called and wants its RX 5700 XT back.
Whoopsie.
2017 called and wants its RX 480 back. 2015 called and wants its R9 380 back. And 2014 called and wants its GTX 960 back. This is the stupidest graphics card launch ever. Now, I know retail price is $379. If you look at the title of the live stream, it says $500 because that's the typical going rate. There were a couple cards in the New Egg Shuffle for $379. There were a couple of cards at Best Buy for $379. And there were 5 people who got one at AMD.com for $379. They are currently over $600 on eBay, and quite a few of the add-in board partner cards are in fact $500 from Micro Center, Best Buy, Newegg, and Amazon doesn't even have them and doesn't bother because they don't really care that much. The downside to being such a large retailer is graphics card launch doesn't mean anything to them. So, yeah. 1080p, high detail, 60 frames per second, $500.
That's if you can get it for that. Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday. 2021 sucks. We thought 2020 was bad. Look, I've talked about all kinds of things this year. We've talked about cryptocurrency. We've talked about crypto mining. We've talked about the shortages, pandemic. I'm kind of tired of the whole pandemic and cryptocurrency and shortage miners and gaming things. I did a video on Monday of this week.
You did?
Showing an upgrade of the Chevy Spark build that I did in March of 2018. $400 build. Now, it was ultra budget, but you could, in fact, build a computer for $400 out of all brand new parts.
Including the GPU.
Well, it was an APU, but yes. But it would play games, sort of. I mean, but it would get you started, and it wasn't a used system off of eBay. It wasn't. It was an all-new build.
Case, power supply, RAM.
And $400 doesn't even buy you a GPU anymore. And the APUs are expensive now. The cheapest APU in the new lineup is $270 for integrated graphics that are no better than what they... I mean, okay, they are 5 or 10% better, but they're really no better than what they were selling in 2018.
It's true.
How did that happen?
Supper Sandwich is right. $30.70 for $500 back in December turned out to be a deal.
Well, here's a thought for you. Forget the whole what should a 1080p card cost. If any of you had spent $500 on or $499 in 2018 on an RTX 2070.
2070?
2070.
Yeah.
Those launched in 2018.
Correct.
For those of you keeping track, those cards are 3 years old now. Your card is very competitive with this new 6600 XT. It mines better. It has better ray tracing. It has DLSS. it does use more power. In fairness, the 6600 XT's great claim to fame is low power consumption. But
True.
beyond that, it's the most useless, stupid card launch I've seen in a while, amongst a series of stupid, useless card launches. I feel your frustration, and to be honest, I'm sick and tired of not being able to make videos about this stuff and get excited about it.
Yeah.
The making of Monday's video caused me to... I went back and I looked at my March of 2018 video, and I included a snippet of it in Monday's video. And I had to look at a couple of other older builds that we did, looking at doing like upgrades, what could you do to an older machine. And as I went through my older videos, you know what I found? I was a happier YouTuber. I was excited about this stuff.
Yeah, that's because there was deals and you could build stuff and have fun, and now it's...
I'm not excited now because here's a $500 card that barely hits 60 frames per second on some new current games at 1080p, and it'll last 5 minutes before it's out of date.
Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to do a cracked on
If GPU companies were honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
you could do
Roger Horton. Oh, he is hilarious.
He is.
Why did they stop making videos? They haven't done one of those in a while.
Oh, they haven't? Get on that, Roger.
Roger. So just looking at chat, I've got a poll running at the moment basically saying, will the $200 price point for 1080p high detail GPUs return? 33% of you say yes, it's just a matter of time, and 67% of you say no, those days are history.
Well, there's some optimists out there.
You know what's important? Straight up gaming performance. Let's take a look at this. Now, make these full screen. This is a 13 game average. The 6600 XT averaged 115.6 frames per second with a 1% low of 84. I'm sure plenty of people will look at that and go, wow, what a great 1080p card. That's a beast. 115 frames per second. Oh man, that thing will last for years. Okay. You know what's wrong with that? Game selection. Game selection is everything. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, 6600 XT, 87.4 frames per second with a 62 1% low. Okay, you know what? That's totally playable. Absolutely, I do not dispute that that is completely playable. Valhalla is even a relatively recent game. Came out a year ago almost, but fine, it's relatively recent. So a nearly $500 GPU in August of 2021 can run last year's Assassin's Creed game at 1080p at just over 60 frames per second on the 1% low. That's pathetic. Okay. There are some other games in here with ridiculously high frame rates which are skewing the average. By the way, just to come back to this for a second, the 5700 XT, which was basically the same price 2 years ago, is very close to the same speed. 3 frames per second difference here. I mean, okay, yes, technically this is faster by a tiny bit. 2 years. And of course, I realize that you guys are going to get all pissed off when I say this. Cryptocurrency mining. The 5700 XT outmines the crap out of a 6600 XT. If you'd have bought a 5700 XT 2 years ago for $400, you'd have paid for it 5 times over. You'd have made enough money to buy an RTX 3090 at this point if you'd just been mining with it all that time. And it's basically the same speed with the same VRAM with higher power consumption. In fairness, a little bit higher power consumption. That's a fair point. If we look at the rest of these, a 3070 Ti is actually remarkably similar, but this is an AMD game after all. The 6700 XT is comfortably faster. And many people would call a 6700 XT a 1440p card. I don't. I think that's a 1080p card. That's not going to age. I mean, over the course of 3 years, You'll get 3 years of 1080p gaming out of that, but no. Actually, you want to know everything wrong with this test? Look at the 3090. They've got a 6700 XT beating a 3090 here. That's an AMD title. Wow, they had the 6600 XT beating a 30. That's silly. So, moving right along, Borderlands 3. That's actually quite a difficult game to run, all things considered. 95 frames per second average is not bad. I'll give them credit. That is absolutely fine. It is a little bit faster than a 5700 XT. That's a decent jump. Either there's a game optimization driver in there, or there's something particular about that game that makes that gap larger than it was on the other cards. Okay, I'll give that credit. That's nice. I don't have anything bad to say about that. Dirt 5. Jeepers, it's a freaking driving game. Why is Dirt 5 so difficult to run? 79 frames per second, 1% low. When did Dirt 5 come out? I want to say that game's a couple years old. Dirt 5 came out... That's more recent than I thought it was. That came out last year. Okay. So last year's driving game does 79 frames per second. I mean, it's fine. It's just depressing. If this were a $250 card, I'd be excited. That's not bad. The Division 2 is more of a CPU game than it is a GPU game. That's 88. Of course, you guys remember when Division 2 came out? That's a 3-year-old game now. Actually, now let me think about that for a minute. It did come out in 2018, didn't it? I'm not losing my mind. The Division 2. The Division 2 came out February of 2019. Okay, so it's 2.5 years old at this point. Fair enough. So a $500 newly launched video card plays a 2.5-year-old game at 88 frames per second at 1080p. I feel your pain and frustration. I do not like having nothing good to say about it. Its power consumption is lower. I don't have anything else good. It's not even available. You go to Best Buy, Newegg, Micro Center. They're not available. In 2016, when we started this YouTube channel, I did a series of videos on the 10 series launch at the time, and those really helped catapult the channel. And I was very excited about it. I'm like, wow, a 6 gigabyte 1060 for $250. But the one I was really excited about, I did the 7 cards compared video. Which GTX 1070 should you buy? I had a Founders, and I had 6 add-in board partner cards. And starting at $379, I was excited. I was like, holy crap, 8 gigs of VRAM, a modern core design that stomped the floor with the 970. Let's be honest here. The performance difference between a 970 and a 1070 is very substantial. And for $379, I was like, you know what? That's the card to buy. That's the card to buy for the next several years of gaming. Get a 1060 if you can't afford a 1070, but the 1070 was the one I was most excited about. When the 20 series launched, I was less excited because of the price increases. $1,000 for the 2080 Ti, $500 for the 2070. We went from $379 to $499. I was like, well, it's better, but once you take the price into account, it's better. And then now we have the joke that is 2021. Food for thought. Go back to 2018 and spend the $499 for an RTX 2070.
Okay.
In 2018, the RTX 2070 launched for $500.
Right.
Instead of spending $500 on a 6600 XT today, here's the Division 2, which came out 2.5 years ago. 27. I mean, the Super is slightly faster than it. It's basically an overclocked 2070.
Right.
88, 85.
Oh, that looks very similar.
Just buy a 2070 3 years ago. So, what other games do we have?
Far Cry?
Far Cry 5. That's not a new game.
Nope.
We're not even doing Far Cry New Dawn, the full price DLC to Far Cry 5.
20 super to whoops, it's but there.
Again, if the 6600 XT was $249, I wouldn't be complaining.
Final Fantasy?
Oh, that game did not come out last week. That's terrible. Wow.
Forza Horizon 4.
This is what's skewing their numbers so much. By the way, I'd like to point out that they show a 6600 XT.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Crap.
Wow. 5700 XT beats it here. $58 frames per second on Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, new poll in chat.
New poll.
Is there anything good to say about the 6600 XT? If y'all disagree, now's the time. I'm actually looking at chat. I wasn't looking at chat before. Now's the time to speak up in chat and tell me, am I missing it? Do you guys disagree with me? Do you guys... this is your chance in chat. I'll read some of your comments. We'll get to the super chats in a minute, but I want to see what everybody says. It's cheaper than the 6700. Okay, that's fair play.
You did ask the question.
You win. Ryan says it costs far too much. But Bio Big Daddy says, I mean, to be honest, the 6600 XT would be great in the 200s. I agree.
That's what you said.
Exactly.
There's no bad products, just bad prices.
Except for gigabyte power supplies.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know what? They might be worth something at $5. So, if this were $249, this would be a very different conversation.
Mixie says in Europe they're in stock in MSRP.
What is MSRP in Europe? They're not in stock here.
Dust collectors.
King's Quest said, yes, the driver's work and benchmarking can be done. The power consumption, the one good thing. Yeah, Michael's right. It's the power consumption. Large Gamer says, keeping the 5700 XT for another 2 years. Why would you... I mean, the only thing a 5700 XT is worth replacing would be a 6800 XT. But those are $1,200 or $1,300. Now, I've seen several people in chat say that they picked one up from Best Buy for $380 or $420. There was one there that just said $420. I understand. A few people are going to get lucky with those cards. I get it. I know. But that's not normal. That's not predictable.
Normal.
If we come over here to Best Buy, yes, they had one card for $379. They had a card at $399, but of course they're all sold out and they weren't available in stores anyway. I mean, see, online only. And then it goes up from there. But what difference does it make if you can't actually buy them?
Sold out.
And then if we come over to That's not where I want to go. Micro Center. Let me hit refresh and see if it's still available. Now, there's System Online, but it's not real time. Micro Center system doesn't really update in real time.
No, it really doesn't.
440.
That's the power color.
380, the power color, which I wouldn't want to buy anyway.
Sold out, sold out.
Out of all these cards, the Sapphire Nitro is the one I'd want to buy.
Unavailable.
Hey, let's buy a Gigabyte. Go with good with the power supply.
Oh, that's going to be terrible.
And 470 is obviously less than 500, but that's sort of... That 470 versus 500 is like saying, do you want to get punched in the face only twice instead of 3 times? Yes, please, I'll have another. It's...
Yes, please, no thank you.
That's not... Way to miss the point. I don't really like any of these cards.
And there's only one available.
Well, what's interesting is the one that's available is this power color for well, it says 9 in stock. They're not now. They are almost certainly all gone at this point. They don't update this in real time as they sell. So if we were to drive over right now, I'm sure we would not get one. And then Newegg. But of course, these aren't actually available.
They'll put them in the shuffle.
Oh, wait.
Hang on a minute.
Is this actually available?
That's what it looks like. It doesn't say shuffle only.
$500.
$500.
Really?
You gonna order it?
I can't do it here.
It's a big 3 one. Oh, he's gonna go.
I need one for review.
I know. Go order it. I'll entertain everyone.
I'm shocked it's in stock, but it is $500. Stupid five. Tell people we need some support to buy a stupid card for $500.
I think they heard you. Did you hear that? We have. Did you hear what he said? In normal times, it would be a $250 card.
eWin Racing has a wide selection of chairs to fit all shapes and sizes of gamers, ranging from petite to cuddly. They have something for every type of gamer. Not just sizes, but colors and material options as well, including red, blue, purple, pink, orange, and more, plus cloth and leather choices. We have over half a dozen chair and desk videos in a playlist down in the video description below. We also have a very special offer just for Tech Deals viewers. Save 30% off of everything using discount code TechDeals using our link in the video description. We have used eWin gaming chairs for 3 years in our office, sitting on them for up to 8-hour marathon live streams. They are very comfortable, and we are happy to work with eWin to bring you this special discount and recommend eWin for all of your gaming chair and desk needs.